Are you looking for jobs in Germany? Are you thinking of relocating, finding job and life opportunities in Germany? Well, especially if you are living in Syria or Lebanon, this video will be interesting for you. I'm Fernanda, and I'm here with Eleni, Amaney, and Leila, and we will be answering some questions you asked and other people asked us about immigration and about finding job opportunities in Germany. We are from Imagine Foundation. Imagine Foundation offers you a free of charge career coaching bootcamp. It's 100% online, and we will teach you how to prepare a good CV, a good LinkedIn profile, and where you can find job opportunities and how you can apply for those jobs here in Germany. Leila and Amaney will be sharing with us how their experience was in finding jobs and moving to Germany. They both live in Berlin now. Amaney came from Syria, and Leila came from Lebanon with her family. So they will tell us how was the process of applying for a visa, how was the process of finding a job, and how has been living here. So keep with us. In this first video, we will mainly touch the point of the visa application process. And then we will have other two videos where you can find more information about the work culture in Germany and also how to apply for jobs here. We will also give you some advice, some tips that you can immediately use to start looking for jobs. Keep posted, keep in touch, okay? So let's start from you, Amaney. Tell us, how was your experience applying for jobs in Germany, applying for the visa in Germany? Did you need to speak German? This is one of the questions that I have heard most often from people. Also, they want to know how the process of applying for a visa works. Did you apply in Syria? Did you have to move? How was it exactly? Tell us.
To start, I've been in Berlin for 3 years now, and till now I don't speak German. So just as a start, we don't need the German language. Now, if we go back to when I applied, it was almost 3 years ago. I was in a stage that I want to start working with international companies. At that point, I wasn't sure if I want a relocation or I want a remote job. So I started with a remote job, but I didn't find a lot of, I didn't get any responses. And then I started looking for more relocation, jobs with relocation. There I wanted to, at first I wanted to ask some friends. So I wanted to know how they did it. So I started to reach out to my friends who were already in Europe to ask for some advices. They gave me some advices on how you can change your CV. Of course, I also didn't only get their advices, but also checked online with the template that are used for the CV and LinkedIn in Europe. And I changed my CV accordingly. And then I started applying for jobs in Stack Overflow and on LinkedIn. On Stack Overflow, I didn't get any responses. On LinkedIn, I started to get some responses. I had multiple interviews with multiple companies. And then I finally get a contract with one of them. And then I started with the visa application. The visa application in general, what you need is just to get an appointment in the embassy, in the German embassy. Unfortunately, we don't have a German embassy in Syria, so you have to choose a German embassy in one of the neighbor countries. So you could use either Lebanon, Jordan, or Iraq. So far, those are the options. I'm not sure about Jordan because most likely you need a visa, but for the Iraq and Lebanon, you don't need a visa. So if you have the appointment, that you have an appointment with the German embassy, they will let you in. Getting the appointment was not an easy part for me. So it takes 3 months just to get an appointment, and also I had to pay for it. So if you just want a free appointment, you will never get it. So I just used some offices that are specialized in getting appointment for people, and I had to pay some money for that. it's also important, if it's okay if I mention the number. If it's not, then it's fine. And then after that, I get the appointment. I went there. The most important part here is to get all the required documents. So you need the contract, you need the passport, you need all the certificates of your education, because this is also important, and all of them should be translated to English or German. So it doesn't matter the language, but it matters that they all translated. And then, yeah, after getting the appointment, after being there, they have to process your application. Also, unfortunately for me, it took a lot of time. So I had to contact my company, to contact the German embassy, so that we can like increase the process. Otherwise, it would be longer, but eventually I would get it. I mean, in the time when I was applying, there was a lot of rejection for a lot of applications. So that's why if it took a lot of time from the appointment of the visa of the German embassy till you get the visa, just try to always contact the company. The company can contact the German embassy, and the process would be faster.
Leila, I know that your process was a bit different from Amaney, and also you were in a different country. So could you tell us a bit, how was your process when you start applying for a visa to move to Germany?
Yes, I was living in Lebanon before I moved to Germany, and my experience is different than that of Amani, because I'm not an engineer, I'm an economist. And to highlight that this area to find jobs in is actually much harder than for engineers, where we have higher demand um, in Germany to have engineers from outside of Germany and also outside of Europe. But for me, the experience was that I had a family reunion visa to move to Germany and live with my husband. So my husband is a doctor. He moved in 2014 to Germany. And after 6 months, I got the family reunion visa. It was very straightforward. This part is slightly easier than applying directly to a job. So if someone is already working in Germany, then or have a job in Germany, have a job application, moving the direct family in a family reunion visa is immediate. There is no question about it. You just need the proof. Direct family here is the spouse, so the husband or the wife and the children. You need to have the marriage certificate and the birth certificate for the children, and then the visa for the family is immediate. The spouse who is having a job offer don't need to move to Germany before the family. The whole family can move together. And the positive and easy side of that is that from day one, when I arrived to Germany, I could start working a full-time job just by having this family reunion visa. I am eligible to work and apply for job just from day one. So we don't need to wait for another application while you are there in Germany. And yeah, the nice thing, while I was waiting to get my visa, while I was waiting in Lebanon and my husband was in Germany, I was starting to look for jobs and applying. And then I decided to take a break, 1 year break, while I was studying German. So for me, I did study German at B2 level, but I still don't use it right now in my current job. So because it's still hard, even if you understand German and can speak the basics, the living basics of the language is very different than the business language. I decided to look for jobs in English. And even, as I said, in my field where it's harder to find a job, I found a position as an pricing manager in Zalando after 6 months of looking for a job. it wasn't easy. I was dedicating a lot of time to applying and building my CV and cover letters and did a lot of interviews. But I learned a lot in this process. I learned a lot from the initial interviews that did not go well. Also, the way I was writing cover letters and sending emails at the beginning was very different than after I learned with time. So this part also I consider was not a waste of time. It was a learning experience for me. The expectations and the way interviews and job interviews are done in Germany is slightly different than we have here in Lebanon. And this was also what I learned in my experience. And right now, after 3 years of working at Zalando, now I'm leading a team in analytics in Zalando, and yeah, I find that many of my friends and colleagues coming from all over the world are finding it easy to come to Germany. You don't need to know the language. You can learn the basics while you come, but you don't need to know it just to apply. And the visa application also is immediate and easy, and um, more and more companies are looking for engineers not currently located in Germany and Europe, specifically because there is a need for that.
Okay, great. I think you brought a very important information, both of you. Amaney gave us some options for people living in Syria, as we do not have a German embassy in Syria. I think it's important for people to know, okay, so where can I go? Where can I go to make an appointment and get my German visa? And Leila brought important insights about the family reunion visa. So I think all those information are very useful for those who are thinking of applying for jobs and of course to relocate to Germany in the future. So thank you very much for sharing those insights. Is there anything else in additional information that you think it's important for people moving from Syria or from Lebanon to Germany to know?
I think the cost is a little bit important here. You need to know that, I mean, in my case, I had to pay for the appointment in the German embassy. It's not always the case, but also there is a cost for the transportation between Syria and the other country that you're moving for just to get the appointment. And then there is also a cost for the tickets when you buy the ticket to move to Europe. I mean, not necessarily only Germany. And then later when you rent the apartment, you need to pay a specific amount as a deposit that they make sure that you are, like if anything goes wrong with the apartment, then they get this money back from this deposit. And the good part is that some companies, they already provide a relocation budget. And this relocation budget can cover all these different topics. Of course, that doesn't mean all companies provide that, but some did. And they usually, you have to stay for a specific period of time with the company if they provide you with this relocation budget. It depends on the amount. They also provide the amount of the time that you have to stay there. And that doesn't mean you have to stay forever. I mean, like you don't have to stay for the whole period. If you want to move, then that means you have to pay for some part of the relocation again. So if they give you the relocation, then you have to return it. Those are important to know. But it's also important to know that the relocation happens, the relocation budget will come to you after a month or two when you start working, which means you have to have the money in advance and pay for all these different things, and then they will get you the money back.
Perfect. Yeah, it's very, very important to know that. Then people can organize themselves and can be better prepared for the entire relocation. Great. So thank you very much. In the next videos, we will talk about the work culture in Germany and also the job applications and give you some tips that you can immediately apply in your job search and facilitate your process to find a job in Germany. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.